Well, everyone, after humiliation last time out against Man United in the Carabao Cup final, get me words out, wow. We have got a chance here to really try and give ourselves something to celebrate, hopefully, this season. And this is the first step to trying to achieve that, I think, really. It's Inter Milan at home in the Champions League after a 1-1 draw first time out, and then it's an FA Cup quarter-final away at Chelsea. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, really. I think we just get into it. So after I saw you last time, obviously we lost 3-0 to Man UFC, Man United, whatever you want to call them, based on your licensing preferences. That after we got absolutely smashed in what is probably endemic of our time, certainly in the last couple of seasons here at Everton, where against some of the top teams we just seem to fold in on ourselves and just not really create anything. Whereas if you think back to when we won the league, we were, we were. It wasn't just that we scrapped. We got like 90 odd points or something like that to win the league. So, we certainly did really, really well. We then managed to beat Hull, as you would expect, 4-1. A heavily rotated team did the business. A couple of screamers, one from Rodri, one from Cesar Augusto, and Alan Edwards off the bench to get 2. Alan Edwards then did the goods against Leeds. We then played Arsenal away. Once again, just like last time we played Arsenal, we dominated the game. And Lorenzo Luca goes down in the box, 94th, 95th minute. Bear in mind, this is Lorenzo Luca who's not scored for something like 10 games, maybe. When did he last score? Here against West Ham. I don't think he scored since then. No. So 12th of January he last scored, and this is the 13th of March. Goes down, wins a penalty. Now I'm thinking, I've already talked to him and said, you're not playing well, you're not scoring. He's like, yeah, no, you're right. I need to start scoring. On paper, he's a decent penalty taker. And I thought, 95th minute, I'm going to leave him as he is taking the penalty because he was set to take the penalty. I thought, perfect opportunity, get a bit of confidence. He hits it wide. 95th minute, last kick of the game, ref blows his whistle, 0-0. Now, what that would have meant for the league is we would have gone up to 3 points behind Liverpool in 4th. Which obviously would have been, is massive for us trying to get to the Champions League. The board only really want us to get top half still. They're already happy with what we've done in the Champions League. They weren't bothered about the Carabao, and they want us to reach the semi-final and minimum of the FA Cup. We've got Chelsea in the way for that one. So, that's going to be tough, but, at least they're going to be happy with our league performance. But that would have been massive, because if we'd have won that, we'd have only been 10 points behind Chelsea with 8 games to go. And that was still a big ask, but 10 points behind Chelsea when we've still got to play Chelsea at home. I felt, is certainly something we could give them a good run for our money. Man United, since they beat us, have been in shocking form. So here's the win. Then lost 4-0 at home to Burnley, away at Burnley, to overturn the 2-0 deficit in the Champions League, admittedly, against Barcelona. And then lost 1-0 at home to Newcastle. So, they're possibly looking a little bit shaky. And, we've still got to play them and we could have potentially capitalised on that. But just that last sort of, that chance to take the lead there against Arsenal and get the win is, could potentially come back to haunt us. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get into this Inter Milan game. Now, I have kind of half decided, and don't get me wrong, some of you may disagree with this. The whole reason we've done season 6 is for the Champions League. That's the only reason we've persisted with a 6th season here. If we were to lose today, I've half a mind just to resign and end the series there before we do the 5-year sim, just out of interest, because I want to see what happens to the likes of Alan Edwards, Cesar Augusto, Elias Barello, etc. Obviously, we've got a few young wonder kids coming in ourselves as well. Not just those ones, we've got plenty others as well. So yeah, I have got half a mind to do that potentially, because that's the whole reason we've done season 6. And I'm going to find it very difficult to sort of want to carry on, if I'm being honest with you, because it just defeats the point of why we've done this series, this final series, really. But yeah, let me know what you think, and we'll see. Obviously, that might all change. We might win today and we just crack on as ever. But yeah, this is the team I'm going with, a little tweak, because I've been thinking, how can we get more, possession in the big games? I thought, do we do a number 10? But obviously we've been going with a CM and attack and a BBM here. But I thought, you know what, Ward-Prowse can't half-pass a ball, certainly compared to Borello. So we're going to play Borello as the BBM and Ward-Prowse as the AP. And see if that just helps us get a little bit more possession higher up the pitch and hopefully leads to more chances. We'll just see how it goes. DeMarco is going to come in for his ability at crossing. And we've got Luca on the bench. We can obviously bring on Pedro Gonçalves, who obviously we can bring on. Actually, you know what? Pedro Gonçalves can start over Julian Alvarez. Conte on the bench to come in for Rodri if needed. Pau Torres, Rooney Bargi. And I think we just have to go from there and see how we go. Right, everyone. Big chance here to really sort of show our mettle, because Inter are a good team, and I don't think we should dismiss this lightly. I think, if we are to get past these, I think we should consider it a decent achievement. 1-1 after the first leg, so it's all to play for, and we've got a really good chance, I think, of getting the result here. But we're just gonna have to take it as it comes and see. Oh, and there's 1-0 inside 3 minutes. I wasn't even properly looking at that because I was debating whether to change my out of possession instructions slightly for more press, because I saw they're going to play that out from the back, and it kind of made me think of that. I love it when they get free kicks like this and you get a highlight, because I always think you're in with the chance of something happening. Skriniar and Ergachan gives it straight to Alan Edwards, who makes no mistake and puts us 1-0 up. Just cover up the sports director. Don't want you to think I'm repping Mike Ashley. This mug I've had for about 13 years, I think. Oh, Alan Edwards. Oh, that's lovely football. Oh my gosh! I thought that was it. That was stunning football. Lovely bit of interplay between Edwards, Borello and Gonçalves. Oh, man. So I think the teams that have gone through, quite a few teams have overturned deficits. So United went through over Barca. Bayern went through over Arsenal. Real Madrid, unfortunately, did not overturn a deficit against Benfica. They nearly did. They managed to pull it back and it went to extra time before Benfica scored to make it 2-1 on the night. And they went through 3-2. So be open to playing Benfica. The other game that's going on tonight is Leverkusen and Sporting. So I would hope our chances of getting a reasonable quarterfinal draw, if we go through. Edwards! Yes! Absolute Chad. Alan Edwards, worth so much money, well worth the 75 mil, I think it was, that we paid to bring him in from Fulham. 2-0 inside 30 minutes against Inter Milan. Yes, boys! Leverkusen beating Sporting. I think it was 1-1 before the game tonight. And Alan Edwards, I hate to say it, Luca, is staking a claim to force you out, because even if when we've been concerned about our ability to create chances in this season, like I was talking about on the Man U game, Edwards has still delivered goals. He's still managed to do well in this tactic, whereas Luca has really seemed to struggle. Now, you could argue different types of player maybe. Edwards is maybe a little bit more dynamic. You can't see there's pace and stamina 15, natural fitness 13, jumping reach 12, and strength of 14. And that's carried on going, so I'm going to make some changes. And we're going to bring in Lamine Gomis for... he can't play that. Even though he can play as a wing-back, he can't play DM. So, okay, we'll play Conte instead. But we will play Gomis as a BBM. And Fofana's knackered, so we're going to give Pau Torres a whirl. Like I said, we're trying to reintegrate him into the team after he wanted to leave in the January. And this has been, I have to say, so far, with probably about 10 minutes to go, this has been far more comfortable than I thought it would be. Lovely ball. Gomes, Cesar Augusto, Pedro Porro with the shot. Tipped. Oh, no, Edwards. Yeah, I was going to say, let it go, Edwards. Get the corner. Get the corner. And swung in. Gomes heads it over. But that's okay. That's okay. I think we just start bringing it in a little bit. Just... Oh, DiMarco's injured. No. He better not be out for long. I've literally just gotten back from like a 6 to 8 week injury as well. There we go. Easy days, everyone. Easy days. Fortunately, DiMarco is just out for a max of 8 days. So, that's a relief. At least we're not going to be without him for too long. It does mean we're not going to have him for the Chelsea game, but Mykolenko is perfectly capable of doing that. Just seeing this little top headline here before we look at the Champions League draws. One thing we did have was quite a few issues with quite a few of our big players not being happy with game time, such as like Araujo and Pickford and people like that. Thankfully, we managed to appease most of them. Godfrey, this one with the promises was really annoying. Basically, it was an international break, and I thought, stuff it, there's nothing going on. I'm just going to holiday through to the next game. He comes to speak to me to say like, oh, I did ask last time for more game time, and obviously the assistant just balls it up basically, so he's raging. James Ward-Prowse, we had an offer from Man City for him literally with 2 hours to go on deadline day. I'm like, I'm not going to accept that. Like, I can't accept that. I can't replace you. Pau Torres, we know he wanted to leave, but we're trying to bring him back into the team. Araujo was happy because we raged against the team after the Man United performance, which I think was perfectly acceptable. He wasn't happy. Tomori, we looked at moving him on because he wasn't really getting game time, and a few clubs were interested for him, but he wasn't happy about that. And Kante just wants to start more games, which he has been getting. I expect that some of these will just should be up for resolution. Like Kante should be resolved, and Pau Torres wants us to win a domestic cup. But mostly all these promises are looking that we're going to be getting completed. So that's really encouraging. But yeah, before we go into the Chelsea game, we've got quarter-final and semi-final draw in the Champions League. Now I do like sometimes doing a bit of an automatic draw because I like to see it. I like the suspense. I'm quite happy with that. I'll take this though. Okay, that's annoying. I bet it's going to be Bayern Munich or Man City. Oh yes, this is the team I wanted. This is exactly the team I wanted. Is Bayer Leverkusen. Yes, okay. Now we have the next one. We have the semi-finals. I got asked in the press conference what I wanted in the next game, and I said Leverkusen. Bayern Munich or Man City. I mean, we beat Man City at home. Okay. So next Champions League game is against Leverkusen. And that's going to be on the 6th of April. So that's not far off, to be fair. So that's... I hate the way it does this. That's literally in 2 games for the first one. So obviously we're going to come back for the away leg. But first off, we've got Chelsea in the FA Cup Quarterfinals to do. So obviously after the exertions in the week, we've not quite got a fully fit team, but we are able to make a few changes to try and keep people fresh. Gonçalves and Augusto aren't in ideal condition, but they're going to play anyway. Barella wasn't, so Conte is going to come in and play as a BBM. And Mykolenko is in for the injured DiMarco, and Torres is in for Fafana, because Tomori is injured and Godfrey is suspended. Alvarez is also carrying a knock. So that means that, we're kind of a little bit stuck in some ways for options off the bench for, bringing in like for like. But it's Chelsea. It's going to be hard anyway. Lukaku's dangerous, so we're going to just play a little bit deeper than we would normally. And fingers crossed we can get into the semi-final of the FA Cup. So yeah, Chelsea, who have been really, really good under Jurgen Klopp. This is probably the first time in all our time here at Everton that Chelsea have actually been anything close to a good and organised team. They're currently top of the table. When you think for most of the time while we've been here, they've been barely able to get into the Champions League places. Yeah, you know, they're certainly a very, very tough outfit to try and get past. One player who has been playing really well, to be fair, has been getting good ratings, is Guy Bauer, and he's developing really, really nicely. Nice little triangles. Can we stop fannying around with it at the back, though, and just get it away from our box? Thank you. Great tackle, Conte. Fortunately, it does end up with Tonali. That is something that annoys me about this match engine, to be fair, is the number of perfectly timed tackles, slide tackles, which end up being pitch-inch perfect passes to opposition players. Like, you know, basically assists. That does really annoy me. I'm going to up the line a bit because it's not really... I feel like we're making things easy for them. Just because Lukaku's such a highly athletic, dynamic striker, I just don't want to basically give him the chance to run at our players. Tonali chips it and hits the bar, thankfully. Lukaku hits the bar this time. We're just about holding on until half-time. Oof. So we have made two changes, actually. Both Porro and Araujo were really struggling at the end of that half. So we brought Jose Enrique and Calvin Ramsey on for them. And we've also swapped Rodri and Conte. Basically, Conte's gone into that defensive midfield role. And Rodri, we're actually going to try him as a Carrilero. That's a great save from Bauer in that sort of number 6 role, just to see if he can just help us recycle possession a little bit better when we win it back in the deeper lines. Just see if he can, you know, help with our possession retention and allow us to build through the thirds a little bit more. We'll give it 5-10 minutes, and if we don't think it's working, it's fine. We can just change him to like a BBM or something. Gonçalves struggling. Augusto, though, is the one who I think is going to have to come off with him being on that yellow. I do not want him to get sent off. So it's going to be Rooney Bargy. Yes, James. Nice. Lovely ball from Pedro over to Rooney. Back to Calvin Ramsey. Goes back to Conte. James Ward-Prowse back to Conte. Come on. Rodri. No, don't go all the way back and then do that. What a waste. Pedro. Alan Edwards! Why? Why, man? Just shoot. Why are you doing that? You've not got work ball into box and you're not playing for set pieces. Just back yourself. Take the shot. That was a lovely bit of like football around the box, and they wasted an opportunity to get a shot away. Now, I don't know if at this stage it'll go to extra time now with it being quarters, if it stays level. That was close. Or if it will still be a replay. I've got a feeling it might go to ET. You had the run of Calvin Ramsey there. I know we're playing shorter passing, but you're playing as ball-playing defenders. Your job is basically to see those runs and ping that pass. No. Great save. Great defending. That's not a foul, mate. That is not a foul by Mykolenko and Nelson. I refuse to believe it. You gotta be kidding me. That's the Klopp effect, that is. Klopp's the Chelsea manager, and you just know. You know that's all on him. It's going to be on the touchline. Ref penalty, ref penalty. Oh, I'm livid with that. Absolutely livid. Don't get me wrong, like, they've been the better team, but a stupid, annoying penalty decision. Meanwhile, today in the league, thankfully, a few teams have done us a favour in Spurs and Wolves beating Arsenal and Villa respectively, because that means that with the game in hand over both of them, we've got the chance to go, 5 points clear of them both. And yeah, we've then obviously got to try and close the gap to Villa, to Liverpool, to at least get top 4, but it's going to be tough. But we have still got to play Liverpool, United and Chelsea. How did Sanchez do? Sanchez is a very weird player. He is okay. I will probably sell him. We've developed him really, really nicely. I think we bought him for something like 550k. He puts up decent numbers, to be fair. When you look at this, it doesn't look much better. But then he actually got. Am I thinking of the same spell? Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. So it is Reading that he's generally done better at. He did do quite well at Livingston. Bear in mind, he was still quite young at this stage. He was averaging like 1 in 3. They're not happy about our failure to win silverware. We're still in the Champions League, and we're still in with a shot at the Premier League, and they're raging about silverware. Us not winning silverware because we've just been knocked out of the FA Cup. I mean, don't get me wrong, Alvarez, you've been terrible. You were not worth the 72 million that I signed you for. You've been garbage. So you know what? If you want to go, that's fine. Pickford, I would be open to selling him because it's going to be Geisbauer and Torres also. I'd be open to selling him. I'm going to go and deal with these idiots, everyone, and I will see you for the Leverkusen game, I think, because even if we absolutely smash them at Leverkusen, no, at home, I still think we'll probably bring it back for the away leg, just to touch base with how we're getting on elsewhere. Although, to be fair, there's only going to be 2 league games between now and then, although one of them is the derby. Yeah, so I'll see you here. Hopefully, we'll already be pretty much nailed on to get through to the semi-final, which, if I remember rightly, we did get to last season, I think, didn't we? And we lost to Real Madrid. So, yeah, let's see if we can go one step further this season. Hopefully, we can get to a final. And that'll be a really nice way to end the season. If we lose, we lose. But you know what? Getting to the final is immense. The board are happy with that. Not so happy with that. And still happy with that. So it should be fine. But regardless of what happens, at the end of the season, we'll be resigning. Resigning, not retiring. So yeah. Take care, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. And I'll see you next time. Bye.